Good afternoon. It is the same day as when I uploaded the video from the first ride that had the campsite and showing the water and the wheelers. So, oddly enough, during that trip, we were riding for probably a good 5 hours. It was a 60-mile round trip, so 30 miles in, 30 miles out, and prior to the beginning of that trip, I could smell almost what would smell like burning oil. So I stopped my brother and I'm like, I don't know if it's you because I'm riding behind you or what's going on. Well, he figured it might have been his because he switched over to AMSOIL for this year instead of using the Artic synthetic oil. We normally just buy the oil kits right from Artic, which is the oil filter, and I think it's like a gallon of oil. But our machines they take a little over 2.5 quarts of oil. But anyways, so it is what it is. Smell goes away and comes back, goes away, comes back. We get done with the ride. We're heading back to camp, back to the property, and we're about 4 miles out from the property. And I can't keep up with my brother. I'm doing 30 miles an hour, and it's cranking at just over 7,200 RPM. I'm like, that's not no. I'm getting into about 7K at about 40, 45 miles an hour. There's no reason why I should be pushing that going 30. So he slows down. I catch up to him, and I'm like, "Listen, I'm like something's not right. I'm like, I'm revving up this engine, and I'm not able to keep up with you." My brother and I have the same machines, as you could tell from the previous video when we were at the campsite. So we get 4 miles out from camp, and I just going along at 30, staying at 30, and the front end just dives down, and she didn't move, revved it right out, let off the gas, hit the brakes, and this is the result. And it is shredded to shit. And you can see some of the teeth are melted on the belt. So I don't know. I don't understand it. Lo and behold, long story short, not to make this any longer, bring it to another Articat dealer that's relatively close, and brought it to them, explained to them what was going on. I was like, it probably just needs a new belt. I didn't want to give any more information. It's the first time I've been dealing with them, and I figured, okay, explain to them what I think might be going on. Now, when they get into it, if there's anything else wrong, they'll either give me a call or they'll just work on it and do what's got to be done to get it back to 100%. So awesome turnaround time. I dropped it off to them Thursday at or no, it was Wednesday. I dropped it off to them because we were up at the property Tuesday to Wednesday. So I dropped it off to him Wednesday around, it was like 4 in the afternoon. And then by 1 o'clock Thursday, I called them up, checking on it, and it was done. So I went up to pick it up. Now, with the new belt replacement, you got to go 30 miles, braking period, no more than half throttle. I'm like, okay, that kind of sucks because this pitter-putting around on the property, it's going to take a lot of just riding around to get to 30 miles. And riding at half throttle kind of sucks. It's a little bit boring, but whatever. So we had a nasty batch of weather that came through here Friday evening. And right where our property is where the tornado warning was from. Where the tornado warning covered. And in the thunderstorm had 3 different spots of rotation. So automatically my mind went to worst possible case scenario. So loaded up the wheeler and the chainsaws Saturday morning, went out to the property. Luckily and oddly enough, trees were down all over the place. There was like 4,000 people without power. Came back that we had 85-mile-an-hour winds, but no tornado touchdown. Both the cabins were fine. Everything was good. But rode 2 miles around the property checking on everything. And maybe halfway through the ride, I could smell that burning rubber again. Went to touch my clutch cover. I couldn't even put my hand on it. So, who knows? I don't know what else is wrong with this machine. I've got now 1,730 miles on it. And, I mean, you can tell from the video, I do not beat the piss out of my machine. I use it for, work on the property, hauling wood with the trailer, I did have to use my wheeler to tow my brother's Wildcat side-by-side back last summer to camp. He was having issues with fuse and relay for the coolant system, which apparently is a known issue with the Wildcat 700s. I don't know. It's crazy. It makes no sense to me. I'm hoping that the primary or secondary clutch isn't burnt out because I've looked into it. And the whole clutch kit for my wheeler is $686 and some change. And the dealership gets $75 an hour for labor. And it's like, goddamn, like I owe, I think, $600 on that machine. And now it's to the point where it's going to start nickel and diamond. So I don't know if that's the case. I'm going to have to get rid of it because I'm not having a money pit into something that I don't use and abuse. But that's just my luck. Even the dealer said, you know, I see machines where people don't use them as they're supposed to be used and literally beat the piss out of them, and they never have any issues with anything. And people that use the machine as they're intended for, that are not that abusive, have this happen. So, I mean, damn, it's fucked up. But anyway, it's $198 piece of rubber, and still having an issue with the one that they just put in. So we will see what happens. This coming weekend is Memorial Day weekend, and I kind of need that back. So I just got home from dropping it off, so they'll get on that first thing tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's going to be a busy-ass day, but as long as I get this thing back, and hopefully it's nothing major, we're good to go.